Hello everyone, thank you for joining me around the fireside tonight. My name is Joe, and I'm here to tell you a story. A story about a wonderful kingdom beset by a terrible fate, a fierce dragon and a knight on a heroic quest. A knight that proves that courage comes in many forms and from the most unexpected places. Please do not forget to like, follow and subscribe to Tales by the Fireside. Any interaction truly does mean the world to this channel. I would like to sincerely thank the author, Iain Rowe, for his generosity in allowing me to read his wonderful book. Should you wish to purchase this for yourself, it is available from both Amazon and Waterstones. You can also get a signed copy or enjoy the educational resources on his website, iainrowe.com. So, without any further ado, get comfortable, let go of the daylight, and join me for a story. A Knight Named Clover, written by Iain Rowe. Our story begins in a land far away, where young Princess Clover spent day after day perfecting her climbing and riding too fast. Her partner in crime was a horse she named Blast. Her father, the king, had encouraged his daughter, "Behave like a knight," and for starters he taught her to fire the catapult, wrestle and fight. "Safeguard the weak, and you'll be a true knight." One day in October, the leaves had turned gold. The evenings were cool and the nights jolly cold, when a dragon appeared like a huge bird of prey, making everyone scream, "It's the Scourge! Run away!" With fearsome shrieks and a fiery blast, this mythical menace from centuries past devoured their animals, frazzled their grain, and dive-bombed the castle again and again. The people fought back while they did what they could. The Scourge was too clever, her vision too good, and all of the boulders they launched at the sky were wasted. She dodged, they sailed harmlessly by. So, the king set a bounty for any brave knight who'd take on the dragon and vanquish by might this beastly, barbarian, bloodthirsty brute. The prize in return was spectacular loot. "Why can't I fight?" piped up Clover's young voice. "Are you mad?" said King Dad. "You're a terrible choice. Your job isn't taking the fight to this foe, it's helping me rule while the real knights go." But the real knights fell until no one was left, so the king shook the dust off his chainmail vest and strode from the castle, his armour all golden. "Let's see if this devil can take on an old 'un." The sky became dark as the dragon descended, but the king's plan did not go as well as intended. Before long he too was bound tight in her claws, while fire shot forth from her cavernous jaws. "That does it!" cried Clover, and mounting her steed, she tore from the castle, a true knight indeed. The dragon was startled. Girl knights weren't expected. With the king safe for breakfast, she made a sharp exit. As the beast flew away to her lair on Mount Hood, which was flanked on all sides by an overgrown wood, the princess made Blast gallop hard up the track and called to her people, "Keep watch, we'll be back." Now Clover loved climbing, but this was too much. The lair was at least 700 feet up. The thought of the climb brought cold sweat to her brow. "It's time," she thought grimly. "I'd better start now." In seconds the princess was out of her seat, and putting her trust in her hands and her feet, she climbed even higher and found herself soon approaching the top, dimly lit by the moon. It took a few seconds for her to see clearly. Her breathing was ragged, her limbs oh so weary. But as she crept closer, her heart gave a leap. It seemed like the dragon was soundly asleep. Amazed at her entrance, her father was thrilled. His daughter was here, and he might not be killed. In seconds his smile was replaced by a frown. He couldn't believe that he'd have to climb down. The princess gave Daddy a piercing glare, a fearsome look that said, "Hey, don't you dare! We have to climb down now, there's no other way. Let's not be the Scourge's first meal of the day." Descending was tricky, hands chilled to the bone. Then suddenly someone dislodged a small stone that hit another, and soon the sound of a rockfall rang out in the gloom. With a terrible bellow the Scourge was awake. The force of her roar made the mountainside shake. "We'll have to go faster," came Clover's loud cry, while furious jets of white fire scorched the sky. Their hands were a blur as the dragon took flight, while on the horizon the soft morning light lit their perilous path to the base of the dome, where Blast waited bravely to carry them home. They flew through the forest at fearsome speeds. The Scourge soared above them, just skimming the trees. Frustrated by branches, no way to attack, the beast raced ahead to cut off their way back. The path wound its way round the ominous wood, but where the trees finished was where the scourge stood. Her mouth stretched wide open, she rested her chin, and waited for Clover and Dad to ride in. The people were certain that something was wrong. The dragon had never stayed still for so long. They realised Clover must be on her way, but how could they warn her from so far away? Our heroes were barely a second from death. They danced their last disco, they breathed their last breath, when just then a boulder dropped out of the sky and belted the beast just above her right eye. From up in the castle there came a loud cheer, a huge celebration, the end of the fear, but none were as loud as the team in the tower, whose catapult shot robbed the scourge of her power. "I have to admit you're a wonderful knight," said the king, taking Clover and hugging her tight, and hugging him back, Clover asked with a smile, "Are you proud of me, Dad?" "Unbelievably, child." The end. Good night, and sweet dreams.